I'm Lois Corby, and on my podcast, Home Within, we create space for all of our beautiful humanness. Honest conversations about the nervous system, self-awareness, emotional healing, and learning to feel more at home within ourselves. The difference between being alone and feeling alone. For years, I thought the answer was more connection, more conversations, more plans, more people, more relationships. What I didn't realise was that I had quietly built my life around orbiting someone else. For me, that was usually a romantic partner. For somebody else, it might be work, alcohol, dating apps, social media, being constantly busy. The thing itself isn't really the point. The point is that it becomes very difficult to sit quietly with yourself. At some point, many of us start believing a lie. I can't cope on my own. I know I believed it. When I first stopped dating, I genuinely journaled about it like someone counting days in recovery. Day 23, no men. Day 24, no men. Day 25, no men. Celebration emoji. I laugh about it now, but at the time it felt huge. Because what I was really doing wasn't giving up dating. I was removing a distraction. And underneath that distraction were all the feelings that I'd spent years avoiding. These feelings included loneliness, fear, restlessness, boredom, and the biggie for me, grief. The uncomfortable feeling that maybe I wasn't enough on my own. So I sat with them. Not perfectly. Sometimes I cried. Sometimes I distracted myself. Quite often I wanted to run straight back to what felt familiar. But over time, something unexpected happened. I realised I wasn't actually afraid of being alone. And you couldn't have told me otherwise. At one point, I genuinely believed that. It was more that I was afraid of what I would feel when I was alone. And they're not the same thing. Being alone is simply a circumstance. Feeling alone is an experience that we create through the meaning that we attach to that circumstance. The more time I spent with myself, the more that distinction became clear. There were moments where I was surrounded by people and felt deeply alone. And there were moments where I was completely by myself and felt peaceful, content, and connected. That's when I started to understand that loneliness isn't always the absence of other people. Sometimes it's the absence of a relationship with yourself. And this can be tough to hear, I get it. I argued against this point for a very long time. I didn't want that to be true. I wanted it to be something external, because external is easier to solve, right? It's quicker, quick fix. But the beautiful thing is that that relationship can be rebuilt. That relationship between you and you, it can be rebuilt by staying, by listening, by learning that you can survive discomfort without immediately reaching for something to take it away. Because every time you do that, you gather evidence that you can cope. And that is what shifts the belief from I can't cope without ... to I don't need anything but myself to cope. You start building that evidence that you are safe, evidence that you are far more capable than you've been led to believe. Today, I absolutely still love connection. I adore friendships. I love community. I love love. This isn't about becoming fiercely independent and needing nobody. It's about knowing that if everybody went home and the room became quiet, that you'd still be okay. Not because somebody told you that you would be, because you've lived it. And that is a very different kind of freedom. If you'd like to explore this work together, there's a link in the show notes. Thank you so much for being with me today.